Goodness gracious. Anyway, we reacting to why Jake Paul acted like a child when AJ was beating the delusion out of him. Psychology. Now he was getting whooped on. Like as y'all can see right here, how he was putting that fire on his chin. He broke it in two different areas. Uh, yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's not me, so.
Why was Jake Paul behaving so oddly when AJ was beating the delusion out of him? We're going to break down that psychology, so now let's get started.
I think my jaw is broken, by the way, so it's definitely broke.
As many of us predicted, AJ did in fact hospitalize Jake Paul because AJ rearranged his face, breaking his mandible, or more commonly known as the lower jaw, and that was broken into 3 pieces. And it was clear Jake's lower jaw was broken because when he
Nah, bro, it's always gonna be somebody more evil than you. Imagine about to fight somebody, you hear they broke somebody's jaw in 3 different places.
showed the inside of his mouth, his lower molar teeth were caved inward into his mouth. Titanium plates were screwed into Jake's lower jaw, and he apparently lost several teeth in the surgical process.
I'm a little f***ed up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
Although Jake landed a few good shots on AJ,
Jake fires his signature overhand right while dropping his left hand. Although the shot lands clean, Joshua takes it well and goes to counter with his own right. But Jake completely crosses his arms, leaving himself wide open for the counter. So Joshua makes him pay.
landing those punches actually just discouraged Jake even more because he quickly came to the realization his hardest right hand punch he was expecting to knock out AJ with was doing nothing to him.
The crazy thing is like that looked like a pretty hard punch, so that just shows how hard that dude AJ was training. 'Cause sheesh, that boy ate it and just went back in.
Jake Joseph Paul will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Anthony Joshua.
Whoa, whoa. Age, okay. Height, 6'6". Weight, bro, what? That's 52 pounds, bro. You're not winning that anytime soon. Reach, yeah, it's over with. 252.
Anthony Joshua, you're a wussy. I'm gonna come down your chimney, boy, and whoop that ass.
He doesn't have a chin, and he has no skill, and he's stiff.
And I know that those nerves are going to kick in once he sees what I can do to him.
Anthony
Bro.
Joshua, do you think you're going to knock him out?
He gonna whoop yo. He already did it.
I
but-
see holes in his game of where I can land a big shot.
Okay.
100%.
I'm gonna knock him out 5th or 6th
Hey, he got a good shot in, but wasn't enough ammunition.
round.
Therefore, Jake's belief and pre-fight taunts that AJ had a weak chin where he can easily knock out AJ were proven to be just a delusion very quickly.
His chin's gone,
But he's still Anthony Joshua.
which is stiff and no rhythm, no skill, just power.
And that's when Jake fell back down to reality hard, quickly realizing it's going to be a very painful night for him. Many were wondering why it took AJ until the 6th round to knock out Jake. You know why? Yeah, it was largely because he was mostly running away from AJ rather than standing toe-to-toe with him to fight. It's the difference between fighting a Bengal tiger and running away from a Bengal tiger. Which one will last longer? Yeah, running away just prolongs the inevitable. However, AJ could have done a better job.
Hey, you got this dude using big words. Just I don't even remember what he said. Prolonged.
Cornering Jake in the ring to end the fight sooner.
But Joshua unable to cut off the ring, now following Paul.
Psychologically, when Jake felt AJ's ring dominance, he quickly realized he was outmatched, and the delusion that he could knock out AJ began to leave his mind, and was replaced by what? Yes, fear and massive doubt, with his amygdala kicking into overdrive, which is our fear center and instructs us to fight, flight, or freeze. Since he quickly realized fighting AJ was not going to work for him, he naturally began incorporating even even more flight, running away, and freezing, falling to the ground at any chance he had, just to survive the rounds.
I mean, all it's doing is buying Jake Paul more time. I don't like it at all.
Do you remember what Mike Tyson famously said? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. This is because once real physical danger is actually felt by the person, their higher levels of planning, strategy in their prefrontal cortex are...
Bro, it be like that. Like, people swear they could beat somebody, or like they would have did this in a fight until they get that, until their brain gets shook, until they get stunned. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know. It's life or death. Flight or fright. Or
often overridden by
fight
the
or
amygdala,
flight.
defaulting to instinctive survival mechanisms rather than a conscious proven strategy to win the fight.
He's never even got hit yet, like in a real fight. He's never taken a real punch.
I've never been knocked down
If y'all couldn't see, he was talking about, I guess, Ryan Garcia.
or knocked out even in sparring.
How are you gonna react when that big shot hits you? You think you're gonna snap back into it and know what to do? No.
It often takes years of experience and practice to not let their amygdala take over in fear once they feel their life is in real danger. Since winning a boxing match falls way down on the list of priorities, just surviving becomes the most important thing, causing fear, often panic, to take over, doing whatever they can to just survive. Which is why we saw this very odd behavior from Jake.
Devastating right hands, but Paul just leaning in on 25.
And a few more takedowns. Mauro, is that why he's wearing the Hulk Hogan?
Boy, you know how embarrassing this gotta be? Like, I'm just really thinking about this. Like, does he have kids? Because this could be embarrassing. And this just shows, because, like, Jake Paul, I'm pretty sure he can knock out most people, like an average civilian. But him? I don't know.
Ball on the ropes, and Paul just, and Paul tried, but come on, punches. What is this? And yet he takes the knee again. This is not Joshua. It is happening.
Dang, he had that boy on his hands and knees.
That nigga's not playing.
There's the right hand. Jake Paul goes down again.
Step back with that right leg.
He's cornered again by Joshua. Down, Paul goes. Another right hand.
He was constantly crawling, falling, rolling, faking low blows.
He knows his bullshit.
And I don't see a low blow at all there, so I don't know what we're talking about here.
Holding onto AJ's leg as if he were pleading for mercy, and even pulling down AJ as if it were a wrestling match. In fact, he did that so much that the referee warned Jake to stop that nonsense.
Rough tactics gotta stop, okay? The fans didn't pay to see this crap, okay?
Amen! The fans did not pay to see this crap!
Psychologically, Jake likely did that in fear and panic. Doing that allowed him to catch his breath and rest by getting off his feet, going to the ground. To go to his safe space on the ground because Jake is safer on the ground than standing where AJ can strike him. It allowed him to put some of his weight onto AJ to tire AJ out.
Man, that boy AJ was not out there playing. Goodness gracious. Look. God. I'm not gonna lie. If you were to, like, fall down to the ground like this in a real fight, you know how, like, bad that would be? Like, look. Punch, kick, slant. No.
And sometimes it was because AJ actually knocked him down with a punch, but wanted to sneakily grab AJ on the way down to pull him down too, while also reducing a more devastating fall to the ground.
Put some respect on my name.
My respect.
Some compared all that leg hugging Jake was doing to a child hugging their father's leg in a pleading attachment response.
Look at them legs! Chicken legs!
That behavior reflects a regression to primitive survival responses where the brain abandons the sport's rules and norms, but instead defaults to whatever behaviors can possibly increase the chances of their physical safety. In moments of extreme physical threat, the mind does not care about how something looks, it only cares about what they feel may work. So we're basically watching this saying, desperate times require desperate measures and action.
It's not just physical, I gotta take your soul in the ring. When you're fighting, you can just see a small glimmer of someone that's just about to start fading, and then you just keep exploiting that. Some people
Did he just fart?
give up, some people get knocked out.
Before the fight, AJ talked about taking Jake's soul and breaking him down psychologically. Do you know what AJ meant by that? Yes, it's to create self-doubt in Jake's mind, breaking that delusion of Jake beating him. In the fight, Jake was surely starting to hear AJ's voice in his head saying what he denied at the time.
When you're fighting, you can just see a small glimmer of someone that's just about to start fading, and then you just keep exploiting that. Some people give up, some people get knocked out.
As Jake felt his punching power, those doubts AJ seeded in his mind were surely consuming Jake's inner monologue, because what was occurring in the fight validated what AJ had said. There's certainly an element of psychological warfare in boxing, and it's important to believe in yourself. However, there's no amount of belief in oneself that will ever overcome a massive power, size, experience, and skill gap like the one between AJ and Jake. Therefore, what AJ was saying is that there
It's just the definition of physically gifted, 6'6", 250.
will be a point in the boxing match where Jake finally understands he was
Physically
delusional
dominant.
and then starts to panic and doubt himself. And at that point, Jake will psychologically start questioning his identity as a great boxer.
It honestly kind of looked like he was like holding back in a way, but he was still throwing hard Johns. But
Careful by ducking down. Andre August, he knocked him out quickly. He had one fight in 4 years when he fought Jake Paul. Ryan Bowerland had one fight in 6 years when he fought Jake Paul.
I'm knocking out the best of the best.
Oh, big right. Chavez Jr. also one fight in 4 years when he fought Jake Paul and wasn't even a fucking cruiserweight before that anyway.
The best of the best.
And then realize that was all just a carefully manufactured delusion by hand selecting these.
yo, I was also hearing people talking about if he would have fought Deontay Wilder. Oh my goodness. I think Jake would have been, I think his skull would have been fractured. Because that boy Deontay do not be out there playing.
Your opponents all along.
And let's not forget about Mike Tyson, who had one fight in 19 years before fighting Jake Paul.
Beating all of these people.
In other words, Jake can pull matching levers to protect his image and ego while avoiding anyone who actually exposes his true skill level. That's a tough realization to have while fighting one of the most dangerous heavyweights
Wait, why did Jake even start boxing? Is that a hobby? I guess.
of all time. Jake Paul found out in this fight that he's nowhere near the level of an elite heavyweight fighter as AJ, and his dream of becoming a heavyweight boxing champion is just that, a dream. And likely will always be a dream because listen to what Jake says after the fight.
Go for the Cruiserweight World title.
Yes, after boxing AJ and realizing he could never beat someone at AJ's level in his lifetime, he now wants to become the Cruiserweight champion, a weight class lower, while for about a year he was saying this.
When you called out Anthony Joshua,
Why did you do that? To be the heavyweight champion of the world.
This indicates that Jake is like a child who says they want to be an astronaut. Psychologically, this reflects naive grandiosity, driven by limited understanding, where aspiration is mistaken for capability, isolated in his little bubble atop Mount Stupid in the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is where limited experience creates inflated confidence and an inability to accurately assess his own skill level. What Jake says doesn't ever appear to be based on reality with actual sparring success. Only after realizing he could never beat someone like AJ does he suddenly shift his goal lower.
Go for the Cruiserweight World title.
Psychologically, this indicates that many of his goals are driven by fantasy and delusion.
You've spoken about the desire to play football professionally in the NFL. How serious is that?
It's very serious. I'm going to go and play slot receiver. The way I see
Slot receiver at 6 foot, 200 pounds? You got something coming for you, brother. Them boys is gonna jam you off so fast.
it is, it's simple as.
Even though AJ said this ahead of the fight.
If I can kill you, I will kill you. That's just how I am. And this is just the job I do, so let's go.
AJ did not seem to be fighting at 100% of his ability and seemed to show Jake some mercy, because right before his final knockout punch, Jake was cornered, badly beaten, and his head was on a tee. AJ could have landed a flurry of punches on Jake in that corner, or at least a temporal right-hand punch to Jake's cranium that could have easily fractured his skull and may have literally ended Jake Paul.
Oh, there's a left hook.
However, it appears AJ chose to limit the number of punches he threw and also aim a little lower to land that clean right-hand punch on the side of Jake's face, which fractured his lower jaw, still hospitalizing Jake Paul, but not actually killing him.
If Anthony Joshua won, Anthony killed this guy. Rolls-Royce, Fiat.
Bruh, I'm not gonna hold you. I just know this dude was going crazy at the crib after this. I just had to say that.
The variety of emotions we see in the final moments of the fight are fascinating. AJ finally corners Jake, hits him with a quick left-hand jab to the body, which lowers his guard, opening up a clean right-hand shot to the head. You can see AJ smile there when he sees Jake had fallen into his trap and knows that he's about to finish him off.
And then you just keep exploiting that. Some people give up. Some people get knocked out.
Jake's body language and facial expressions when he knows it's all over for him is a little sad as he whimpers in the corner with that scared, nauseous look on his face, realizing this may be his final moment on Earth.
If I get hit with that shot, I'm screwed. I don't believe he's going to hit me with those shots.
You gonna hit him with that?
100%. And land that right hand that he says is my only weapon.
If you look at Jake's eyes and face, he's pleading for mercy to AJ as if he's a child. Please don't do this.
Some people get knocked out.
It's actually quite surreal that the moment many of us were concerned what happened to Jake actually happened in real life.
If Jake Paul is left, up against the ropes with Anthony Joshua, unloading on him, could be the end for him, literally. It could be his last day on earth.
Jake Paul was helplessly exhausted, badly beaten, and cornered where AJ could have unloaded a flurry of clean punches on Jake. When he takes that clean right shot from AJ, breaking his jaw in 2 places, and then falls to the ground.
And his chin served on a platter, and look at Jake Paul's face. He knew it right away. He said, woo!
Some wondered why Jake had that emotion of excitement. Do you know why? When he was cornered by AJ, Jake's amygdala detected
Bro, it looked like his eye is bleeding. Goodness.
Extreme threat, signaled the hypothalamus, activated the sympathetic division of his autonomic nervous system, and triggered a surge of adrenaline and cortisol from the adrenal glands. This is an acute stress response, but more commonly known as an adrenaline dump. In that moment, when he saw he was about to get cleanly punched in the face by AJ, he surely thought that was his last moment on Earth. Falling to the canvas, then blinking and realizing he's still alive, that abrupt shift from perceived death to survival produced this burst of emotions we see here. He smiled.
Dang, so he's saying this is like, to put it in terms, he's saying this is like whenever you like about to die in a dream and you wake up and you're like, dang, I'm still alive. That's what this dude went through in a boxing match. That's tough.
Laughed and even hooted in shock, disbelief, and excitement that he took a clean right-hand punch to the head from AJ and is still alive. Of all the crazy things Jake Paul has done, he probably never experienced an adrenaline rush like this in his entire life. Imagine if you were Jake up against the ropes in this moment, realizing AJ has your head on a tee and believing that's your last moment on Earth. If you ever had a true near-death experience, you know what I'm talking about. Write in the comments below how you felt the moment you realized you survived it. You may have felt shock, disbelief, and even excitement that you're still alive, especially taking that first deep breath of safety after feeling that sudden adrenaline dump, thinking that that may be the end for you. Also at that moment, Jake surely felt his lower jaw floppy and numb, but the real throbbing, aching type pain typically comes later after the fight when his adrenaline subsides. This is because adrenaline suppresses pain signaling in our body and delays the brain's perception of injury as a survival mechanism to get us to safety. In past fights, Jake's chin has never been tested, but it was in this fight, and I must give him credit because to stand up after that massive right-hand shot from AJ, breaking his jaw is actually impressive.
That's probably the shot right there that was the, now we'll call it jawbreaker.
Although he was unable to get fully to his feet before the ref's 10 count expired, it's a good thing he didn't get up in time because can you imagine the further damage AJ would have inflicted on him if he...
Boy, AJ was out there trying to fight like Batman and stuff. This, oh no, bro. Y'all know how, if y'all ever play Arkham Knight, when Batman's beating up like the villains, like you could hear them like cracking, like
continued in that condition.
In the early rounds by Paul to do that. Right uppercut. It's amazing the
Do you know why Jake has been known to flick his tongue out in wide-eye excitement after getting punched hard? Right, it's to psychologically reframe pain as excitement, therefore reframing it from feeling negative to positive, which actually works to keep someone fighting. Also, it's to psychologically taunt his opponent, hoping to demoralize them that their punches are not bothering him.
Paul sticks his tongue out like he's not hurt.
If you're wondering if Jake Paul suffered any brain damage, there does not appear to be immediate noticeable brain damage, but the hospital he went to surely performed several neurological tests, including CT and MRI scans to know for sure, but likely has some level of concussion based on the shots he took. Due to Jake receiving several clean punches from AJ,
A bona fide knockout artist.
chronic
Look at that whiplash. Did y'all see that?
traumatic encephalopathy is quite possible in his future, but we won't know for sure for many years to come.
It's a progressive degenerative brain disease. It is like Alzheimer's. It can start with memory loss, mood swings, and difficulty in concentration, developing into progressive dementia.
The punch alone that shattered Jake's jaw could have caused a concussion. This is because concussions are caused by rapid acceleration and rotation.
Yeah, it could have if he would have went like an inch or two higher.
Forces of the brain inside the skull. In layman's terms, any force that violently rattles the brain around in the skull can injure the brain. Before this fight, I said there's about a 50% chance of Jake Paul getting seriously injured and shattering his jaw where it needed to be titanium plated back together and losing many teeth in the surgical process is on the lesser side of a serious injury, but still quite serious. However, it's also possible he may experience CTE years later when symptoms such as memory problems, mood instability, impulsivity, or cognitive decline begin to emerge when his brain's neurons slowly came across at a local pub. At some points, he was holding onto the ringside ropes as a crutch, fake nutcrackers to gain extra time to catch his breath. This fight was promoted as Judgment Day to basically decide if Jake Paul was delusional or not. And of course he was, and AJ literally beat the delusion out of him. Now in the comments, what did you think of?
Dang, long story short, Jake Paul got cooked. It happens to the best of us. But anyway, if you like this video, oh my gosh. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and we out.
Yo, fill the room with the juice. That's a lot of loot. That bit fire. Yeah, she kinda cute.